What's up, everyone? Kwame here, back again with another video. Pixel and I are out for a walk. I figured I'd start introducing her in these videos since she's my partner in crime on these shenanigans that I'm off to. But today we're just in our local regional park. Yeah, it's a local regional park. It's actually pretty big. Fun fact, I ran my first trail half marathon out here and finished. I did end up with a bruised knee and fractured wrist, but I did finish. Pixel had to make a deposit to the bank, which is always disgusting, and out here I don't think there's a trash can for quite a while, so I will be holding a very stinky bag. But today I figured I want to talk to you about the camera that I'm bringing with me. It's the Fujifilm X-T5 and the quote-unquote kit lens, the 16 to 80. Now I say quote-unquote kit lens because this is the best kit lens I've ever used, and I think kit lenses get a bad rap. I've had this camera for 6 months now, and I have to say I absolutely love it. And I know everyone says that about new cameras, like, oh, I just got it and I love it. No, I really do like this camera. It's not a camera that I pick up and, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm inspired to go shooting with this camera. I don't think most cameras, any cameras like that, maybe some if you spend enough money. But for me, this camera is the camera for times like this, where I'm going out for a walk with Pixel. I'm gonna bring this camera. Now, the camera I bring with me everywhere, every day, the Ricoh GR3X, because it's quite literally pocketable. This camera is not pocketable. You know, you can get it pretty small with the pancake lens, and if I took off the grip that I have on here, but it still wouldn't be like back pocket pocketable or front pocket pocketable. It would be jacket pocket. I could put it in a jacket pocket, but that's about it. But no, this camera is really, really fun. I picked it up right before we went on a trip to Alaska. And I also picked up the 18 to 300 Tamron lens, which when we go on vacations or we're going on a hike somewhere, like in the mountains, I will bring that lens with me. But for everyday kind of carry, I will bring this kit lens. Now the kit lens is quite heavier than the other the Tamron lens because it's really all metal. If you see me looking around quickly, there are bears out here, and I forgot to check when was the last time people saw a bear, so I may be snapping my head around quite a bit. Back to the camera. This camera is really fun to use. It's, you know, I'm sure everyone has said the tactile dials and buttons and all that good stuff makes it feel like a film camera, and possibly it does. I never shot with a camera like that, but it is fun to have those tactile dials, and you still have a bunch of menu options and things like that. But the main reason why it's been super fun are the straight out of camera JPEGs I've been shooting. And that has been liberating as someone who has edited all my Sony pictures until recently. I just don't like editing as much anymore. And having a camera where I can just shoot and I can, tweak the pictures, but I can just shoot and share is amazing. The other thing that I love about this camera is the community of Fujifilm users and the recipes they come up with. Clearly, the #1 recipe maker is Fujifilm Weekly, and I believe his name is Richie, who does that. It's incredible, and I have not even scratched the surface. I'm still using the built-in film recipes. And now, I will say, I did watch a video just yesterday about someone who was able to create a film recipe for Sony. And to be honest, I couldn't tell the difference between Fujifilm and Sony cameras. So I hope we get to a point where these manufacturers kind of build in these, I know Fujifilm calls them recipes, but like these profiles that you can create and do fun things with. That way you don't have to edit the pictures to get the look you want. Or if you do, you can shoot RAW. Now, I will say the RAW images out of this camera are amazing, and for a person like me who takes pictures of my daily mundane life, it's amazing. It's really, really good. You know, I do still use my Sony a7 II quite a bit, and I still love it. Like, I still like that camera. I still like full frame. You know, the 90mm lens on that camera is great. But do I really need full frame all the time? No. Do most people need a full frame camera? Probably not. Let's be honest. Most of us photography nerds, myself included, that's a term of endearment, we don't need that. Like, we want it because it's cool. And I'll talk about a camera that I want because it's cool in a little bit, but all that to say, this camera is really, really good for my needs as a dad, husband, and dog walker. So because this is a local park to me, I come out here quite a bit, you know, several times a year, more than several times a year. I come out here quite a bit, and it's crazy to see the change in scenery throughout the year. Obviously this is fall, and you can see all the way through, right? Because of all the leaves that are on the ground. But like just a few weeks ago, I think we're out here maybe a month ago, if not, you know, if less than that, it was so dense you couldn't see anything. And again, because this is bear country, this is terrifying sometimes being out here. So I had to talk to myself or have a podcast playing, you know, in case you run up on Winnie the Pooh. But this is why I am a big fan of coming to a location multiple times, because you can see the changes and things. And you know, you'll maybe take a picture in one spot, and then a few months later, a few weeks later, it looks completely different. So if you learn anything from me in this video, find a local park, find your backyard or someplace, and go out often, because it's pretty cool. Now, one thing I want to say is, I don't care if you buy this camera or not. Like, I'm not trying to convince you why you should get it, because A, I'm not getting paid by Fujifilm, and they don't know I exist. I paid for this with my own hard-earned money. And B, do you. Like, just because I like it, or just because someone on the internet, some middle-aged man, is ranting about a camera, doesn't mean you should go get it. But if you are thinking about the camera, then like, it's a cool view to have, because there's going to be people who use this for professional work, and they're going to tell you how amazing it is for video, which is pretty cool for video. I don't shoot video on it, so you know, for me, it's a photography camera documenting my life, my family life, and the places I visit, and it works great for that. But it is very versatile, so if you do want to use it to shoot weddings or whatever you need to shoot professionally, it is pretty fun. On a side note, I don't know about you people who have dogs, and you go out for walks and they stop to smell everything. It is slightly maddening. But she's still a puppy, so patience is a virtue. It's probably not the best shot because I got the sun right over my back, and you know, any videographer out there will tell me this is terrible, but it is what it is. Now, if I would have just gotten this camera and lens on its own, I probably could have gotten I would be happy with it. Like 90% of the shots that I take are with this lens. It's usually on here. However, I did pick up, other than the Tamron 18-300, I did pick up the Viltrox, I believe, 28mm lens, and the Fujifilm 23mm lens. If I'm wrong, I will put that somewhere around here, but I did pick up 2 smaller lenses, and that's the other really fun thing about Fujifilm cameras and APS-C cameras in general. If you get small lenses, small pancake lenses, they make really fun. It makes the camera really fun because, you know, it's really light, and again, it gives it that old film look, the film photography look, and it just, not gonna lie, they look cool, especially the Viltrox lens, because it's a pancake lens, so it's really small. Now, the problem with the Viltrox lens is I have the Ricoh GR3X, and so it's kind of like having the same focal length, so I don't use it too much. And the Fujifilm 23mm lens is not wide enough in my opinion, so at some point I might pick up the like 18mm Fujifilm lens, I believe it is, just to have something that's a little bit wider, you know, for everyday type of use. The other thing you can do with these Fuji cameras, and you can do it with Sony cameras, but it's more prevalent with Fuji cameras as I walk down this very precarious part of the trail, is you can buy all sorts of accessories. I have bought some of these soft shutter buttons when taking pictures. It's okay, and I've lost both of them. They've just unscrewed out of the top of my camera. There's all kind of like leather housing and square hoods and all kinds of stuff that if you go down that rabbit hole, you know, again, you can make your camera look really cool. And I'm not knocking anyone who does it, but it's just not for me. You know, I just use my camera, and obviously I don't want to mess it up, but it's also not a toy. I like to use it and just take pictures with it. So in a few weeks here in the US, we have Thanksgiving coming up, and my family and I were going to be traveling back to my hometown to visit my parents and sister, and I have a photography project that I am going to do while I'm there. I'm not going to spoil it here because that would be defeating the purpose of this project. Well, the project's really for me, but I have a video talking about the project. And so I thought about getting a camera specifically for that, and that would be the Sony a7CR. And I know, before you react and say, Kwame, you literally just said in the previous video you weren't going to be buying any more camera gear. What's going on with that? I know, but hear me out. I've been really wanting walk over this thing. I've been really wanting to try medium format cameras, like especially the Fujifilm GFX 50R. That's a 50 megapixel rangefinder style medium format camera that is no longer in production, and it doesn't have image stabilization or anything like that, but has 50 megapixels, and it's like just looks really cool. However, it makes no sense for me to buy a medium format camera because I take pictures of myself, my kid, my family, some travel, and medium format cameras are for professionals. And yes, if you are enthusiasts, people buy them and they show them here on YouTube, but it's not, you know, it's not worth it, in my opinion, for what I do. However, the Sony a7CR has 61 megapixels. It's a smaller camera, so it's not the regular a7 5R, or you know, one of those DSLR, mirrorless DSLRs. It's a smaller camera, but it would give me the same feel of having a medium format camera, possibly, and having all that resolution would be good for this project. However, I really struggle with that idea because this is really good, and you know, I go back and forth on if it's worth bringing along and taking pictures with it, knowing also that that's a camera I really want. So should I really be teasing myself with a camera that I really want when I have a camera that is more than enough and can get the job done? I don't know. I guess we will both see in in that upcoming video. Overall, I am really happy with this purchase. I think it's a great camera, and especially for my type of photography, everyday, mundane, boring photography, it is perfect. You know, the 40 megapixels, a lot of resolutions, and other than my rant about the 60 megapixels and the Sony camera, 40 is more than enough for my everyday use. Built-in image stabilization is awesome. Again, not having to edit all my pictures, and I can shoot JPEG or the equivalent of JPEG straight out of and bring them straight out of camera and share them with people is awesome. It has saved me so much time. So again, I don't care if you buy this camera, if you don't buy this camera. There are more technical reviews on this camera, but for me, this has been an awesome little camera. All right, well, I'm going to get out of and enjoy this walk because it's supposed to be rain for the next week. I'm going to enjoy every minute of this sunshine. I hope you all have a great day, morning, night, evening, whenever you're watching this, but I hope you're doing great. Hope you're staying safe, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Again, talking to myself. Because of the bears, don't want it to meet Winnie the Pooh on the trail.